Hello, I'm ibxtoycat and this is Q&A Saturday, the weekly series on my channel, and answer your questions that have been asked over the past week or so across the last week's Q&A video. This is a fun once-a-week opportunity for me to respond to some of your biggest questions, for you to set the agenda, and have a weekly back and forth, which I personally enjoy, and I hope you all do as well. So, I want to quickly mention before we get into anything, that the background gameplay is going to be some treasure wars. I actually managed to get a hacker, someone who had fly hacks or whatever. It's fairly satisfying to win normally, but to win against someone who has literally hacked to cheat against you, there's something about that just like, oh, it's the perfect feeling. So with that said though, let's move into the very first question, which comes in from Z4Zach, who says, so, will the PS4 see any of these features? And if you are a PlayStation 4 player, the good news is, yeah, right now, at least, the current agreement is that Bedrock updates will be ported to PlayStation 4 with some small slight delay and with some minor differences, because obviously they're different consoles, different entire set of things altogether. But you can expect that, yes, at some point, pandas, scaffolding, etc. will make their way to PlayStation 4, as well as anything else that is currently coming to Bedrock, which seems as though is going to be a lot of things. Again, all the features in 1.14 will eventually come into Bedrock, some before they come into Java, some after, and all of the features that come into Bedrock will eventually come into console. It's a really confusing, like, three-tiered system, but for now, just kind of trust me that that's how things are currently, and that's how you can expect things to be, unless one of the more interesting possibilities opens up, which is obviously now that Sony allows crossplay on the PlayStation 4, or it's currently in beta, but, they're starting to allow it. There is a real possibility of Bedrock Minecraft coming to the PlayStation 4, which means it becoming even earlier, but then there's the whole transition possibility. It's a really big question as to when will that happen, why will that happen, how will that happen, etc. And we don't know the answers, but if you are going to see an answer, it's going to be within the next few months. So there's this really exciting window of opportunity for PlayStation 4 players that we're going to have to kind of wait and see regarding. But they will come to the PlayStation 4, don't worry, in one way or another, whether there's a delay or whether there's not delay, you can expect to see it, which is good news. So the second question comes in from Abner Chilson, who says, would you ever consider moving to the US? Is there any circumstance where you would? And the honest answer to this question is I always assumed that I'd end up in the United States at some point because, most of my money that I've earned in my lifetime has been in US dollars. Right now, YouTube pays me in US dollars. The jobs I had freelance writing when I was 13, 14, in US dollars. When I owned an advertising website when I was like 12, it was in US dollars. The vast majority of things I've done through my life have always, been US related or paid in US dollars. And it always made sense to me, like, rather than converting to pounds because the exchange rate used to be 2 to 1, why don't I just live in the land where the currency that I'm earning is from? Because there's so many things that America just does best. I mean, like, I don't know if food is, like, best necessarily, but it's definitely hard to hate your American food, right? Unless you love yourself. But, that's a whole separate thing. It's hard to, disagree with the fact that, like, yeah, entertainment in America, definitely on a whole nother level. And yeah, I honestly always assumed I would end up in the US, but I think it's a lot less likely now. One, because when you're an adult, you realize just how ridiculous the US visa system really is, and, like, how many hoops I'd have to jump through. And it's like, I mean, like, the number of these there is versus the, the actual upsides, given that it would be more expensive in different ways to live in the US, it's like, okay, that's a thing. Picking a place to live in the US, and also there's the fact that self-employed people get taxed way more in America. Like, America's land of pro-business, but not if you're a small business. From what I can tell, there's literally something called the self-employment tax, and there is some logic behind it because your employer usually pays some taxes, but in most countries it's lower for self-employed people to encourage that, and in the US they're like, nah, small business is just not our thing, apparently. So yeah, basically, I think I wouldn't end up living in the US on a permanent basis. I think, like, it'd be cool to live there for like a month or two. I've spent a few weeks across the US, and I love it every time, but I think going through a lot of effort just to go through a lot of effort just to end up paying significantly more to a foreign government, I don't know, just something sounds a bit weird about all of those steps to me. So I'd probably end up somewhere on the near Canada border, like Toronto or something like that, and just kind of come in every now and then. So yeah, that's my take on the situation. It'd be fun, and there's a reason a lot of British YouTubers end up in America, because better entertainment connections if you stay in Hollywood, whatever. But personally, that's not my biggest concern, and there's a lot of other big concerns that I'm not sure have a great answer. So yeah, might live in the US for like a month sometime. That'd be great. Maybe you'll see that sometime soon. The big question though is which state/city to pick, but that's another question for another video, because let's move into the third question, which comes in from Cryptic Stuff, who says, can you maybe do a video about what Minecraft would have looked like if Notch didn't sell it? That would be very interesting. And to answer your question, Cryptic Stuff, I think a whole video on it would be interesting, but I mean, the basic speculation here isn't too hard to extrapolate from, so here is your mini video on what Minecraft would be like if Notch didn't sell it. So, hello, I'm ibxtoycat, and today we're talking about what Minecraft would be like if it wasn't sold by Notch. So first big difference is that Notch would be in charge of the game, and all of these like mini scandals that Notch gets in would be, I guess, more affecting on Minecraft because he still is in charge of the game. Second big difference is there would be a lot less Xbox Live integration. The Bedrock version of Minecraft would exist, and it'd still be a pocket edition or whatever. I don't think it'd have the resources and the dedication. Microsoft has it's close to 100 employees working on Bedrock Bedrock at any given time. That's a lot of money that Microsoft pours into making the Bedrock version of the game, the one you're seeing in the background right now. And although if you're a Java player, you might be like, oh, so not very different. And yeah, I think that's the simple answer to this question. If you play on Java, Minecraft would probably be basically the same. I mean, it might be more developed, less developed, might have different features because there's less, like expectation of having the Bedrock follow them. But I think even the Java team have said that having the Bedrock, version side by side allows them to kind of share ideas. When they both implement a feature, one of them does it better, and then they both kind of copy that. And I think as a result, to be really simple about this one, what would Minecraft be like if Notch didn't sell it? Probably about the same, unless you play Bedrock, in which case it'd probably be, significantly worse. And there wouldn't probably even be a Bedrock version because the universal platform thing is a big Microsoft thing. So you'd probably just have a bunch of separate platforms that wouldn't be able to play together, which might be great in for certain consoles or whatever, but might not be great if you're a Windows 10 or you're an Android player with a iOS girlfriend and you want to somehow convince her to get back together with you, but you want to do so via Minecraft. You wouldn't be able to do that. So, there's pros and cons on both sides of this thing, but I think it wouldn't be significantly bit different if you're a Java player, and that's I don't think it's too controversial an opinion. Like, the Java team has mostly stayed the same, regardless of who has been in control. So, next up here, we have the Great Vegaretto72 asking, on Mob Crush, you said that you'd stream Conker's Bad Third Day, and it's been almost 3 years, and it hasn't happened yet. Also, will there ever be another Let's Play week anytime soon, even if it's on the third channel, because the Let's Plays don't do as well on the first channel. So, the idea of a Let's Play week is something I play around with from time to time, like, I'm going away for a week, why not do this? I think the truth behind it is, like a solo Let's Play of 30 minutes, doesn't really fit into the current YouTube thing, like, oh, you gotta be doing S&B, or you gotta be doing mod, or you gotta do whatever people think you gotta do. I think, like, maybe one day it'll just kind of come back to, like, why don't we just play Minecraft, vanilla solo, like, give that a whirl, and when that happens, when the solo Let's Play has its moment, then there'll be a Let's Play week. I'd love to do a Let's Play week, again, it just doesn't make so much sense on YouTube, but I'm always waiting for the opportunity, always waiting for the dream time to do it. And in case, by the way, you like me playing around the Let's Play world, over the course of the next few weeks, let's call it Streammas, but in November, I'm going to be doing a bunch more of these, like, 90 minutes of mining, Obsidian or Blue Ice or whatever. So if you want to see kind of like a Let's Play format, like where it's, talking about the whatever, but also working on the Let's Play world, you can expect to see a lot more of those streams coming up. So if you like those streams, good news. If you don't like those streams, I guess bad news. So let's move into the next question, which comes in from S. Saka, who says, it's not really a question. Oh, shock of the week. But I wanted to point out something really interesting. Minecraft upcoming blocks are inspired and have been shown to us during Minecon. Yes, Minecraft Dungeons has all of these blocks. So I wanted to point this one out because they did show us a trailer for something called Minecraft Dungeons, at Minecon Earth. And yeah, the interesting thing is during that trailer, they showed us a lot of features that just looked like they're entirely made up at the time, but have later made their way into updates. So let me show you, for instance, right here, there's some barrels on the ground. Do you know what exists in 1.14 snapshots so far? Barrels. They showed us right here, lanterns, as you can see on the far right. Do you know what exists in the most recent Minecraft snapshot? Actually, the one from this week, there is lanterns in there. And you can kind of extrapolate from this to assume that most of the things in this trailer might be coming in 1.14. So, for instance, you look right here, you see campfires. We've had campfires confirmed, and that looks a little bit like a campfire. And therefore, you can also be like, oh, well, therefore, in this image, you can see there's that weird blocky stone, like a new type of chiseled stone. And also, there's that weird extra cracked stone. There's lots of different blocks you can see across the Minecraft dungeons. However, even now, even though we've seen 2, arguably 3, of the blocks from Minecraft Dungeons confirmed, and interestingly enough, we also have, the extra villager professions confirmed, and there's the whole, the crossbow wielding guy or whatever, but even though we've had all these different things confirmed, which is, kind of indicating that it has a big basis in Minecraft, I wouldn't make the jump and say every block in this trailer is definitely making it to the game. I think the, the weird combination of, like, a diorite stone block that's chiseled in some weird ways, I don't know for sure what this thing is, but I think that is likely to come, it's a possibility of coming, but I wouldn't say it's a definite thing yet. I wouldn't say we can all count on it being confirmed, because there's a lot of things in the trailer that definitely aren't in Minecraft. Like, there's some weird glowing diamonds or crystals in the background of a shot. There's, there's literally a man in a wizard costume, different types of Minecraft armor. There's hammers that they've confirmed aren't coming to the game. There's a guy dual-wielding swords and new bosses. There's a lot of things that are deliberately not in Minecraft. They just feel Minecrafty. And it could have just been that because the features in the trailer are Minecrafty, that they happen to feel like, oh yeah, that would be a good thing in the base game, or they were features already under development. It's hard to say for certain, but I think that's the case here. So again, bear in mind the fact that, like, because 1.14 has brought back so many features that they've recommended in the past, I've seen a bunch of comments in the past week on my older videos saying, like, wow, Toycat, you predicted this, you predicted that right, and, the simple answer is because, like, if you're just a little bit, like, cautious, like, so are they going to do that, are they not? And in this case, we don't have any great evidence to actually believe this stuff will be in the game yet, but we did have great evidence to believe in Coral, which is why I made a video saying Coral is definitely going to be coming, and then when it came out, everyone was like, oh yeah, looks like you were right, and that's why I would say be cautious on this, but also be potentially optimistic that maybe some of these things will make their, more of these things will make their way into the base Minecraft game, which would be pretty darn exciting, right? So anyway, with that said, let's move on to the next question, which comes in from Jira, who says, what is the most regrettable moment in your channel's history? And I would honestly pin that down to either the Wither Church on the main channel, or to a live stream I did way back in the day. I think it was for a new Black Ops 1 map, maybe a Black Ops 2 map. So there's two separate situations. One was a way more regrettable event, but no one even caught it at the time. I was logging into my Twitch account, I think it was, while I was on YouTube, and I was just like doing that thing where I said my password out loud, like, oh yeah, I love kittens 46, and I said it, and I'm like, man, I just said my password as I was typing it, because I was like, ibxtoycat, I love kittens 27 or whatever, and then I was just like thinking about that the rest of the stream, like, man, I just did that. I think I might have immediately like taken down the stream, changed the password, got through things, but I was like, why did I do that? Why, you're on a live stream, you gotta be more careful about what you do and say or whatever. But the most regrettable moment that I think people remember, this was one of the first controversies I had on YouTube, and it was one I honestly didn't see coming, but like retroactively speaking, it's kind of an obvious one. So way back in the Let's Play I'm still doing to this day, in episode like 119 or something of the 300 something episode Let's Play, I started building something brand new. It was based on a comment I had that was like, oh yeah, build this, build an upside down cross church, build a church to Satan or something, and I was like, oh, that'd be a really funny joke, like, yeah, build a church to Satan in Minecraft. Like, who was expecting that? Everyone would be like, ha ha ha, that's the first church of Satan I've ever seen in Minecraft. And I built it, and I made a bunch of jokes while I was building it, like, haha, yeah, well, this is what we're doing, what a silly thing. And then the comments were just like, man, why are you building a church to Satan? This is the worst thing. Because at the time, I guess I had a heavy US audience, and like a lot of the US is still very, very religious. So they were just like, man, what is this? They were tearing me apart, and I had to kind of like take a step back from it and be like, oh yeah, no, that same thing was a joke. This is a church to the Wither, and to this day, I still like fight withers underneath it. It's kind of a thing. It was a pretty misguided decision, I guess, and it just makes you realize that like, there's a lot of ways to misconstrue things on the internet, and sometimes, like, you don't even need to misconstrue something. There are a lot of people with very different backgrounds to you. You might assume that everyone is like the group of people you know, but the truth is, on the internet, you have a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds, and it's kind of like a big melting pot where everyone comes together, and you get a lot of things where you realize that that's a big mistake to make there. At least that's my take on things. It got hugely disliked. It was like a big controversy at the time, and like it took me a while to like fully come back from it. But yeah, pro tip: don't build a church to Satan in Minecraft, is I guess my pro tip here. So yeah, with that said though, let's move into the next question, which comes in from Geography and Maps, who says, Q&A, when Minecraft Bedrock servers first launched on Xbox, you were very critical of them, especially Lifeboat. What do you think of Minecraft servers now, over a year later? They've all gotten a little bit better. They all had a loot box phase, which was ridiculous. Loot boxes in Minecraft. That sounds like a joke. Real thing. I think still Mineplex this day has a version of loot boxes on their server. It's so absurd. I cannot work out what they were thinking when they came up with this. But they've all gone through that hump, that like kind of down phase, and they're all a lot better now. There's a lot less lag. Notice in the background gameplay. There's a few mistakes. I fell off the edge at the very start, right? But I think for the most part, the servers work. They're a lot better. The game modes are more fun. I like that there's 5 servers. The competition between them means that there's a lot more, I guess, effort put into the stuff. And in general, yeah, I would say servers are significantly better. It would be kind of fun to like check them all out now, a year later, because again, people haven't seen most of the servers. Like, when was the last time you went on in PvP? When was the last time you checked out Lifeboat? So yeah, it'd be kind of an interesting one to go back to, I guess. But long story short, I think they've all improved, but they're obviously not yet on the Java level. But let's move into the next question, shall we? Which comes in from, Dr. Mature, who says, Hi Toycat, I love your videos, even your rants. Could you do a video reviewing Minecraft Bedrock servers that are not in the recommended server list? Thanks. And, I mean, probably. That'd be a good idea, I guess. Sure. So let's move into the final question, though, which comes in from Lord John the Red, who says, are you going to continue playing your survival world once you have it up on the market? So, again, if you're not familiar with this, just real quickly, I am going to be releasing my Minecraft Let's Play world onto the marketplace at some point soon. It's going to come bundled with some skins, so you can be a Toycat or a few different variants of Toycat. And the reason I'm doing that is because on console, that's the only way to properly share maps right now. Again, I know there are some ways to do it otherwise, but it's a good way for anyone, anywhere to be able to download the map, and at the same time, you'll be able to support me with a couple of dollars or whatever. It's it's a fun, like, mutually beneficial arrangement, and yeah, once it goes up on the marketplace, it's not going to be the end of the map. I just want it to be kind of in a finished-ish state, so I can work forwards from the finish. So that's why I'm finishing a bunch of projects, and that's why you'll see a bunch of background gameplay relating to that, and why you see these large streams. It's just because I want to do some big stuff before I put it onto the marketplace, so when people do download it, they can see some of the bigger stuff is actually finished, rather than having to finish it themselves. So I will still be playing it after that comes out, and I'll hopefully be able to update the map. I don't know how that whole thing works. We're going to be working through things one step at a time, but the map will go onto the marketplace, hopefully in a more polished than it is right now state. It will still look like the Let's Play world. It will have all the things that you know and love about the series if you've been watching for all 70 episodes now. And yeah, once it goes up, I'll still be playing on the world because I love that survival world. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but like, hopefully you believe me because it's been 6 years at this point. I like playing Minecraft. I like playing the same world, and I like the progress we made in that world over the last 6 years, but maybe that's just me. Either way though, I hope you did all enjoy today's video. I hope that your answers to your questions were satisfactory, and if they weren't, then I guess leave a comment down below, and you can put as much criticism in those comments as you want. I mean, yes, you can. I find criticism to be a fun thing to go back and forth on Q&A Saturday if you have something valid. But no, more seriously, if you have any questions you want to ask next week about anything, life, the universe, or of course Minecraft updates, you can like this video and let me know. Wait, no, you can leave a comment with that. Well, I mean, you can also like the video and let me know you liked it, share if you liked it, subscribe if you're around here, make sure you turn on notifications. Apparently, I'm just too good at plugging myself, but yeah, I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and I hope I'll see you all in another one in the future. Goodbye.